welcome back to Doing Different with Kimmy. I'm Kimmy, and today's conversation is one that I cannot wait for you to hear. My guest is a woman who proves that life after 60 is not a slowdown, it's a rebirth. After walking through a divorce after 36 years, she rebuilt her life with courage, purpose, and a whole lot of heart. She's the national makeup artist for Miss Senior America, a mentor for women stepping into new seasons, and she's here to remind you that your story is still being written. We're talking about reinvention, confidence, taking chances, and becoming who you were meant to be, even when it feels scary. And guess what? She's giving away a makeup bundle of her favorite products. So let's go ahead and jump in. Uh, Cynthia, I am so glad that you are here. Cynthia Dugger is my guest, and we're going to jump in because this is an
Okay.
exciting story that I want to get to. Your story includes a major turning point, going through a divorce after 36 years. That's a life-altering shift. Can you share how that moment became your pivot and what changed in you from that point forward?
First of all, thank you for having me, and I'm so glad that we finally connected. And I just want to shout out to my friend Cheryl for connecting us. And I love social media for that part of life because I've met people I would never get to meet before. So let me just take you on a little journey with me so that I can give you the picture of how life kind of evolved for everything that went through or that I went through at that point. And this was now in 2012 when I got a divorce, and I was just got through raising all my children. I have three children, a son and two daughters. My youngest daughter was in college, and I was just ready for, I thought it was going to be the time that me and him would be sailing off and doing all the things that we talked about or traveling or doing whatever. And it just didn't work out that way. And I found myself filing for divorce over some things. And I do not, because I have three children and I have 10 grandchildren and three great grands. I never bash him and I never talk bad publicly about him. That chapter in my life is over, but he's the father and the grandfather and the great grandfather. And I respect that. And even though it didn't work out for us, I always want him to be present in their life. So we
Right.
we we co-parent. We do the things with he will be there for different events, and I'm okay and everything. But it was devastating at the time. And I moved out and I moved in with my middle daughter, and she had a little apartment that was connected onto her house. And I remember not much about that other than I'd go to work, come home and go to bed, go to work, come home, go to bed. I was not living. I was not talking to anybody. I'd lost weight. I didn't have any ambition. I just thought, well, I don't know where to go from here. And I live in a small town. So all of our friends were mutual friends. So it's really hard when you're in a small town to meet people and to start over and, all that. So I remember the pivotal moment about 6 months after I had moved out. I remember my daughter coming in the room where I was at, pull the blinds back, pull the quilt, the bedding off the bed, and she looked at me and she's like, "Okay, you've wallered in it enough, mother. You're going to get up, and I don't know what you're going to do today, but you're going to get up and do something, and it's your life starts now. And if you don't take control of your life and start living your life, he's won. He
Mm,
has knocked you rock bottom. And
yeah.
are you going to allow that? And if you do, you're not the person I thought that you were." Well, cried all that day and just, wallered in it some more. And then I don't know. I prayed and I just asked God to give me strength to give me my next step. And
Yeah.
so I got up and then I started like I just had to try to make plans to go places. And then if nothing else, I get the one of the grandkids and we go do something. I was just trying to exist better. And
Yeah.
so things started getting a little bit better. And I think I was 58 at the time. And I found out when I turned 60 about a pageant that was for seniors, 60 plus. And I thought, when I turn 60, I'm going to enter that pageant. Now, my daughter, youngest daughter, was in pageants most of her life, and I was the pageant mom. So I knew about pageants. And what I knew was it wasn't about winning a title, it was about the community, the camaraderie of the people in it, and it helped you gain confidence, and it pushed you to do something you've never done. So I found out about it in 2015. I contacted the director and I said, "Send me the paperwork. I'm going to do a pageant." And I, not knowing what I was getting myself into, and but I met some amazing people. But I did get third runner up in Miss Congeniality. So
Oh, nice.
that was a little bit of a boost. And I thought, okay. Well, what I did from there was I just stayed in contact with those people that was in the pageant. And then I thought, I'm going to do it again at some point. And in 2019, I entered it again and I didn't place, but I won. I won the most amazing friends. And if any of you follow me on social media, all the women that you will see in my videos and all the ones I met them through that pageant. And
Yeah,
we have just
Cheryl's
become,
sister.
yes, she's our Miss Tennessee.
Yes,
And
she is.
so I just have this whole community of women. So what happened was I had joined a makeup company in the meantime, and I was working that, and it was a network marketing company. That was another thing that I stepped out of my comfort zone and did because I thought, okay, I worked for the school system. I was HR director. I was busy working, but I wanted something that was mine, kind of like what we talked about with you. You wanted something that was yours. So I
Right.
started. Now I'll back up a little bit. I did meet someone else. His name is Bill. If you ever hear me talk about Bill, I met him in 2013, and we were together until 2020 4 when he passed away of congestive heart failure. But I did have someone else come into my life, but I never remarried. Okay, so he was one of my biggest supporters, and he's like, this is you're made for this. You love makeup and all this. So I joined a makeup company, and when my friend Susan, who won Miss Tennessee that year, I didn't place that year that I was in it, but she asked me to go to nationals and do her makeup for the pageant in Atlantic City. And I'm like, "Me? You want me to do your makeup?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so when I did, she placed in the top 5. And so the director of the of the Tennessee pageant said, "I have a proposition for you. How would you like to be our Tennessee makeup artist?" Because let's face it, nothing against young makeup artists, nothing against any of them. There's some talented people out there. But senior skin's a little different. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they try to do things to us that they do to their skin and it just don't work.
Right.
So I said, yes. So I have been going to Tennessee doing makeup for since 2000. Well, we had COVID, so we didn't do one year. Then I picked back up and we went, I think 21. So anyway, did that. Well, then as it turned out, somebody had posted. I hadn't even really got into doing videos and things like that yet. At that point, I did a little bit, but things have evolved on social media a lot in the last 5 years. So things weren't like they are
Yes.
now. And so a lady came to the Tennessee pageant and filmed me doing makeup. on some of the ladies and put it out on YouTube and social media. Well, it got the attention of the national director. So she contacted me and she said, how would you like to be the national makeup artist for Miss Senior America? And I'm like, me?
Wow.
Me? And she's like, and so I went to Pennsylvania she lives in Pennsylvania. I went to the Pennsylvania State Pageant. They surprised me and gave me a ruby crown and crowned me the national makeup artist for the pageant. And they've never had one. They've never had one. They've just always hired people to come in and do it. Now, I can't do all 50 contestants, no way. But first come, first served, I do their makeup. And listen, that has just blossomed in some of the most fantastic friendships ever. But I tell you this story to tell you women message me a lot because they see me out doing things and with a lot of different women. And I'll tell you the story about my dancing here in a minute. But anyway, um, they ask me why, how I wish I had that. I wish I had a group of friends. But I will tell
Yeah,
you, the most important thing that you can do is go out and do something you've never done in order to have things that you've never had. And
that's right.
you have got to be flexible with doing something different. And so had I not ever done the pageant, I'd shudder to think how my life would be because those women, first of all, when you've got a bunch of women that'll do a pageant, they're a little bit bold, a little bit anyway, and they rub off on you. They will
Yes,
they will convince you that you can do anything. So, and I always say, surround yourself with people who make you better. Who,
yes,
if you are continuing down a road with somebody that's just complaining all the time, or just not ever happy with anything, that just doesn't give you joy,
mm-mm,
you are never going to push yourself to be better either. It it
that's
it
right.
drains your inner self. You know what I mean? You
It
know?
sure does. That
So,
negativity.
yes, and so being around all of these women, they will convince you that you can do anything. So that's kind of how I started reinventing myself after the divorce and um, finding something that gave me joy and that I could sink into. So whether you may not ever want to do a pageant, maybe that's not your thing, but you can volunteer for so many things out there. There are
Exactly.
organizations that you can go and meet people and and do all kinds of things. And so
Exactly.
through the Tennessee Senior America pageant, there is we have an organization that for volunteers and people who've been in the pageants called the Tennessee Jewels. And the
I know
Tennessee
that.
it is so amazing.
Yeah.
We've always had just one group up until last year. We had an East Tennessee group. This year, this last Christmas, we formed a Middle Tennessee group, which if you know about Tennessee, we're a long state, okay, and we're two different
Yeah.
time zones. So if you're over in the Knoxville area and I'm over on the other side of Nashville, I'm a 4 hour drive over there. It was just I couldn't be a part of it with the distance. So now that we have a Middle Tennessee Jewels, we are a group that we put together a dance show. This year it was Dancing Through the Decades. We started with the 20s all the way up to now, and we dance, we sing, we just you know have fun doing all of the things like that. And then we go to nursing homes, assisted living homes, memory care. And at the end of this year, I don't know, I can't remember the exact number, but between the two groups, we will have performed like 235 shows. We do once a week. We do on Wednesdays, and we do two shows a week, and we do about 8 or 9 weeks in the spring, and then we do
Okay.
about 6 weeks for the Christmas show. So
Wow, I've been following all of that. I follow Sandy, I follow you, and I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm 12 hours away. I so
Yeah.
wish that I could participate. I saw somebody, I don't know if it was Sandy or if it was you that posted, because I've interviewed Sandy on here too. And I don't
Okay.
know which one of you was that posted that they're actually looking for people to register to for the Miss Senior pageant. And
Yes.
I made a comment and I said, well, I'm 12 hours away, so that counts me out. I wish they had something like that down here in Florida.
They
Hmm.
have an at large Miss Florida Miss Florida. They used to have a pageant in Florida, but the director resigned, so they don't have one. So you could go at
Oh,
large. Florida is an at large state. So at large means you just volunteer to be their queen, and then you purchase your crown and sash, and then you go to nationals without winning a pageant. So there's like 28 or 29. I'm not sure on that, but there's several states that do not have a state pageant.
but are they senior or are they just all ages?
No, you have to be 60 plus, as long as you're 60.
Really? Well, I might,
Mm-hmm.
I might look into that. I might need some of your help to give me some pointers and look into
Yes.
some of that. I had no idea. I
And
had
if you
no idea.
don't, if your state is already taken, you can go from another state to represent another state. I have a good friend that's in our group. She went as her family was connected to Utah, and so she went. She did not win Tennessee, but she went as Miss Utah, and she got second runner up.
Oh
But the four areas of competition for Senior America when you go to nationals will be a talent. You have to have a talent of some sort, and it can be anything. We've had people who have made quilts, who have done art, who have done skits, who have done poetry, singing, dancing. We senior women, a lot of us have a lot of talent that's not your traditional, get up there and sing opera like Sandy does. I mean,
right, right.
there's others. And then your evening gown, and you have to do a 30-second philosophy of life. So by the time you're 60, you've got a philosophy of some kind that you can pop out for 30 seconds. And then interview.
Yeah. And how much weight do you have to be?
Well, there's no stipulations on that. They'll come in all shapes and sizes to nationals. And there's been top fives that have not been skinny minis, I can tell you that. So
Oh,
maybe you want to be a pageant director. Maybe you could apply to be the Florida national director. So the Florida
you
state
mean so,
director.
and what do they do?
Well, you would put on a pageant in Florida.
Oh,
You
that
would
would
be
be
in charge of
very
putting. I
interesting.
will come in if you decide to do it. I'll come and help you, and we'll get Florida off
Yes.
the ground.
There we go. It's a plan. It's a plan. I'll be in touch with you because I do want more information about that. My goodness, Cynthia, you have walked through a lot, and in your situation, you bloomed and you were not held back anymore. And so how's that personal journey shaped the work that you're doing today with the women over 60? Like, how do you encounter other women in that situation that are stuck, that are not moving forward, that are not growing, that are so basically that is what was happening. I mean, you were stuck,
Mhm.
you were not growing. And
Right.
so I can see that that must have shaped some of the work that you're doing with these women that are over 60. Do you recognize a pattern in that?
Well, what happened was too, I joined social media and I started an Instagram page. And I, one of the first things I did after my divorce, after I started Instagram, was kind of start talking about my journey. Because I think sometimes you have to, if you keep it inside, whether, if you don't go to therapy or if you don't, whatever you decide to do. But if you don't, and you've got to have some kind of outlet. So I
Right.
joined Instagram and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a lot of motivational stuff because I need that. And then I'm going to talk about my journey. And so I did some things about being divorced after 36 years. Oh girl, the floodgates opened. The people,
Wow.
the messages, the things that the stories I heard and all of that. And I'm like, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
This is kind of an epidemic here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of women that have been married 30 plus years that are divorced now. And so we're all trying to navigate. And some of the stories, it made me thankful because mine was not messy like some of them are, and
Yeah.
some of them were what they were going through and trying to have money to survive on or keep their home and all these things.
Yeah.
So I did have a chance to give a little bit of advice to people, like when they filed, and I'm like, okay, you need to check on this. You need to do this, and this is something I did. Ask your attorney about this, and so I did that for several years, and that was a good outlet for me because I felt like I was helping people
Right.
to
Right.
navigate through it. So I think anything time you go through something like that, you've got to make a shift off of you to try to do something for somebody else. Because I think if you just keep concentrating on what you're going through and how this is affecting your life, that you, you will not heal.
Right.
You've got to go out there and try to serve others and to help others. So that was that was something that I spent several years doing. And I'm in my 60s and I'm just buzzing along, and I thought I I I, I want to do something to inspire women. I want to get out there and just show people that, because you're in 60s and because you're turning 70 and all that, it's not the end. And
Right.
and I realized, and I use this quote a lot. I said, it takes all kinds of women to reach all kinds of women. I may not be everyone's cup of tea, but there are women out there that I feel like that I can reach and that I can help and that I can inspire and that they when they to me when I open up social media, I want to smile. I want to be encouraged. I'm not much on the drama stuff, and I just kind of put that on the back burner with things. Now, if it's something going on with somebody close to me and I can listen to them rant or whatever, that's different. But for the
Right.
most part, I want everything. If you go down through any of my social media, you will not see anything negative. Just
Oh,
it will
it's
be
always, I follow you and I have to laugh. There are so many things that you put on there that just make me laugh. All these little
yeah.
cartoons. I don't know where you get these little memes, but they are hysterical. And I'm telling you that your passion for women and helping them realize that life isn't over, when they hit 60. Because I got to tell you, I turned 60 in October. And there was just, I don't know, I guess I expected somebody to throw me like a big 60th birthday party or something, but it didn't go that way because that usually doesn't happen anyway. But for some reason I was like, oh, I'm going to be 60, maybe it would help me to accept that age if I had this big bash. And
Mhm.
I'm thinking, well, where would that have come from anyway? But anyway, when I did, I tried to hide it. I tried to hide the disappointment of the big 60. I
Yeah.
mean, my daughter got me this big gold number 6 inflatable balloon, and the other one was a 0. I still have it in my bedroom. And I was like, why do I keep that thing in my bedroom? But it's like, I think for me, now, even though I started this podcast a year and a half ago and I wasn't 60, I still think that 60 to me is representing the rest of my life. And that's why I think with you, and the reason I wanted to interview you is I see what you're doing. I see how you're motivating. I see how you're giving women hope that they still have so much to offer.
Mhm.
And it's enthralling and it's encouraging and it's motivating. And that's what we need. We need that because when somebody gets older and then especially with a divorce,
Mhm.
oh my, oh, and then it's retirement age, no more jobs. What are you going to do? You're going to retire and live on a fixed income, and it's not the end. You don't have to stay stuck.
Yes.
Um, this to me is my ministry. I don't I don't monetize it. I don't charge to promote anybody. I do it because I believe in it. I believe like what you're doing. I
Mhm.
believe that you're not dead and you still have so much more life to live. Why don't you come on the podcast and tell us your story? And with you, it's like, hey, look at the pageant. Look what you're doing for the elderly people, keeping
Yes.
them happy, dancing, singing for them, doing makeup for the pageant queens and all of that. And then your inspiration on Instagram and Facebook. You're on another I was looking to see you're on another social media, aren't you?
I do
Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. I'm on TikTok, but I haven't really grown that
Oh,
like that. I have 100, I think 174,000 followers on Instagram and like 51,000 on Facebook. Which
wow.
to collectively that's good. And a little over 10,000 on TikTok. But TikTok's it's different over there. There's a lot of I mean, I don't bash. I don't know. I love Instagram because I just feel like those are my people.
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook,
TikTok
maybe,
is more of a younger generation,
yeah,
Gen Z.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, I have a friend, Kim Kinney, who's been on my show, and she is blowing up TikTok with her
Uh-huh.
books and her she's a Christian author, and
Uh-huh.
you must see some of the stuff I repost of hers, and
Okay.
or maybe you will in the future, but you can use it. I mean,
Yeah.
and then there are moms that are estranged from their children, and
Uh-huh.
they are going on there now and they are
Yeah.
talking about their side because TikTok is filled with the kids who are calling the parents toxic, and they're leaving the home, and they're just the mentality is
Uh-huh.
crazy. And so
Uh-huh.
now there's these women our age that are rising up
Uh-huh.
and saying, hey, let me tell you what it's like. Let me
Yes.
tell you, it's not, we're not toxic. You know, we did this for our family and blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, there are parents out there that are toxic. I'm talking about the ones who are not. So they do use TikTok. They use that for
Uh-huh.
that. I think I was on TikTok for like maybe 1 month, like 3 years ago, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me. It's just too fast. I mean, it's like
Well, I
one
don't know.
reel after the other. It's
I've done a little bit. The thing that got me the followers the most on TikTok when I was with Bill, we took a cruise and he had a heart attack on the cruise,
Oh
and
my
we
goodness.
yeah, and so he actually I mean died. There was a lady come out of the dining room um, that knew CPR. She was a doctor, and she brought him back and things were so crazy. I did not get her name, or I knew her first name from what they called her, and I knew that she was I can't even remember now. She was a certain kind of doctor. Anyway, I remember hearing that, and I went on TikTok and I told the story, and I said, okay, do your thing, TikTok. I need to find this doctor because I need to thank her because I mean, she gave him another almost a year, because she brought him back. And do you know we found it? We found her. And
Did you?
yeah,
Oh my
um,
goodness. Did
I
she
had,
respond?
she did. And I emailed her and told her, I told her thank you. And I
Oh,
asked for her address. I said, I'd love to send you a little thank you gift. And she said, no, I don't want any gifts. Send me a picture of you and Bill celebrating life and knowing that y'all are okay, and that's thanks enough. And
Wow. So that
eventually I
just
had to.
goes to show how social media works.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Even TikTok.
yeah, and so they've just, so that one that's kind of how I kind of blew up over there. Wasn't a good way to blow up, on and get a lot of followers and everything, but people get invested in those stories. They
Right.
want to help. I think the most people, uh, 99% of people, if there is something going on that they can try to help somebody, if they have something within them that they can use their resources, they do. And
Yes.
the messages that I received, I even got a message from Royal Caribbean, somebody that worked with Royal Caribbean, because they would not release her name to me. And
Yeah.
he said that there was a really good friend of his who has a Royal Caribbean Facebook page. And he told me to go there and tell him the story, tell him what he was looking for. And so I had all of those people in that Facebook group looking for the doctor as well. So
Oh
it
my
was,
goodness.
it was crazy there. And like there, but we found her, a girl, she she just kept on till she found her in a group of she was a
That's
pediatrician,
amazing.
is what she was, and found her in a pediatric group on Facebook on Facebook, because she said, I need to know if anybody was on Royal Caribbean, da 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 da, and did CPR on a man at this date, and she came
And they
forward.
found her. You can use social media for the good. And that's
Mhm.
getting back to what I'm saying, that what you're doing, what I'm doing, we're trying to be positive in the community.
Yeah,
Like I'm not one of the I don't it's like if I'm going to watch TV or I'm going to watch a movie, I'm one of those people who like documentaries. I like true stories or true life stories. You know, if I'm going to watch a crime show, I'm going to watch real crime show.
yeah,
So I'm one of those people that's just really real. And so when I'm going through social media, I like to see things that are real, that are people are really going through. And somebody like yourself is so encouraging to watch what you're doing,
right.
and that's why um I thought, well, I had Sandy on the show and I'm friends with Cheryl. I met Cheryl first. I met Cheryl over
Mhm.
at another social media platform that we were on
Mhm.
together, and she lives right across the state from me. She's probably about 2.5 hours away from me, and
Okay.
we haven't met yet, and I really want to get over
Really?
there you
Really?
know
Y'all got to meet halfway at some point.
I know. Well, I had suggested something. I don't know who it was. Well, maybe I think it was you with your Airbnb, because you have an Airbnb, correct?
Yeah.
And I want to
Yes, I
let
do.
everybody know that too. And we
Yes.
can put the link to that if you want to later
Oh,
on.
yeah, I'd love
But
to.
yeah, I would love that. We can give them all the links in a minute. But I had said something to Cheryl. Well, that sounds like we need to do a girl trip and head on over to Cynthia's Airbnb.
You do.
Let's do
You
it. Let's
do.
go meet Sandy and Cynthia and me and Cheryl, and we need to all get together, and we'll bring some other people along if we need to. And so I'm thinking,
Exactly.
man, I could, she could bring her. We could have like a little business thing with the
Yeah.
clothing and the
I
colors
could
and the
do
makeup,
makeovers.
makeovers with clothing
Yeah.
and makeup, and I'll do the podcast on it while you
That
guys are all doing it.
sounds like a plan. We just got to get our calendars to
Got to
mesh
get it
in.
together, right? So
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there, where can they find you? Let's go ahead and give them. I'm going to go ahead and post the links below in the
Okay.
description of the podcast, but
Okay.
where can they find you? What are the links?
Well, I'm sassyglama on Instagram. I don't know where that name came from. It's just one day when I started a new Instagram when my old one got hacked, and that's just what happened. And I was going to tell you too, if my viewers, when they get on Instagram, they'll see me dance a lot, because I love to dance. I mean, that's just I just love to move. That's my exercise most days. But anyway, I danced my way to 70. So I started on my 69th birthday the next week, and I danced somewhere, and I counted down every week till I turned 70, and that eased the pain a little bit of turning 70, because 70 is a big one, to me. And
Yeah.
so if they want to go back, there's a lot of dancing that goes on. But
Sassyglama on Instagram and
I'm Cynthia Willhite Dugger on Facebook, and on TikTok I'm Confidence by Cynthia.
oh, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
how long have you been on Instagram to have 176,000 followers?
I'm 21, 22. I was staying.
That's amazing.
I had just a very few, and then I started doing more motivational things on there, and then I started dancing, and then I started acting silly, and then I started showing the girlfriends, and I just tried to show my life. And I'll tell you what's built my social media up more than anything is my stories. My life happens in
Yes.
my stories. So if you follow me, if you want to know what this girl's doing, it's in my stories. Now, last year I bought a house that I thought was going to be just need a little renovation, and it was last April. I ended up having to have the whole floors took out. I had to have all new floor joists put in, new plumbing. I mean, the money pit house, that's kind of what my Airbnb turned
I saw
into.
I saw you going through that. Isn't that the Airbnb?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful.
so, but I had a vision, but where I showed all that was in my stories. It's like, okay,
Yes.
there were some days that it got pretty comical, but I learned to do a lot of different things. I learned how things worked, and it was good. When Bill and I were together, we had an Airbnb over in Crossville, Tennessee. That's where he had lived. And after he passed, I sold that, and I wanted to get something over here close because I thought they'd be getting extra income and tax write-off, that kind of thing.
Yes,
And
yes.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I survived. I'm stronger for it. And my grandson, bless his heart, he was there with me through getting it all done. And he had the muscle, and I had the checkbooks.
And the will to get it done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you've done a lot. And that's amazing. 176,000 followers. And anybody out there, please go to Sassy Glamma on Instagram and check out Cynthia's stories. I absolutely love it. It'll make you chuckle, it'll make you laugh, it'll give you
Yeah.
motivation. And you have such a powerful voice and you have such a powerful story. Are you Would you consider doing like speaking events locally or traveling?
You know, I did not have that on the radar, but I've had many people tell me. I had a message from an old friend the other day, and she's like, "I would pay to come see you.
Yes.
You tell your story and to speak." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like,
Yeah.
you need to start doing things like that and motivating people. And I'm like, I don't even know how to go about doing that. But then that kind of got the wheels turning, and I thought, a lot of times our knowledge of what we've went through and our stories can resonate with so many different people.
Yes.
And sometimes
Yes.
and that's another thing that maybe I just need to step out on a little bit of faith and say, you know what? Yeah, but if you're watching and you've got an event and you want me to come, yes, just tell me what you want me to talk about and how long you want me to talk. I don't have any problem talking at all.
Awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah. So if you're willing to do it travel wise too, not just
Mhm.
locally.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds so good. Yeah, because a lot of people, at our age and then with divorce and then with different careers, on the horizon, it helps. It helps to
Yeah.
talk about it. And what about when you're looking ahead now? Now let's look ahead. I mean, are you a planner? What are your primary goals for the next few years? And on your heart to, build or create? Besides
Well,
maybe
I mean,
speaking, maybe the speaking thing might be on the horizon too. You never know.
that is now. I hadn't until I got several. I mean, one or two messages here and there, and I'm like, well, okay. I'm in the process, and it's slow, but I'm writing an ebook that I want to have that will be available on my Instagram, and in the ebook will be my story, and it will also be my best tips and tricks for senior skin and what I'm doing to help the aging process and to, you know, I'm I'm really into more natural things. I don't do a lot of injections and things like that. I like to do facials and I like red light therapy and I'm trying to do things that are um, taking care of my skin from the inside out is what I fuel my
Right.
body with and things like that. So I'm going down that journey with it, but I still have my favorite skincare products, my ritual things that I do, and so I'm going to share some things like that and try to put that together. So me and my laptop have been up late at night, just kind of writing things. It's easier to talk it than it is to write it.
Yes. Yes, it is. And this is something, you don't need a publisher for this. You can just do an ebook on Amazon. Is that correct? So
You
that's going
can,
to be
and
very informative.
well, there is an app that I'm using that you I had to purchase it, and they put it. You write it, and they kind of put it
Put it
together. The ratings were good. I'm going to try it and see how it comes out.
together.
So
Let me ask you this, because I don't know if anybody else is dealing with this at all, but I have never, ever, ever had this happen to me in all of my life, not even in my adolescence or puberty or anything like that. But I am breaking out with acne. It started at 59. I went through menopause early. I had a hysterectomy at 37.
mhm,
This didn't happen, but the kind of acne that it is, I mean, you can't see it now, but it's inside and
mhm.
it's more lumps. And I'm so apprehensive, and I don't know if there's somebody else out there that's experiencing this. I'm so apprehensive of what products to use. And even my own special products that I love, they don't sell them anymore. They switched
Mhm.
them up. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's great. Now I don't know what's going to happen to my skin by using something else. And I'm an herbalist, I'm a gardener, so
Mhm.
I everything is natural for me.
Yeah.
Although I wish that I could get injections in my skin, you know, if I
Yeah.
had the money, I think I just might, teeter over to the other side of herbalism just for maybe one time. I don't know, but just to see what it would look like. But no, the acne situation, what do you recommend for that?
Okay.
Like,
I had that when I went through menopause. It's hormonal. You need to go and have your hormones, checked and things like that. There are things now with the peptide industry that can address that because it works on the skin. And so I'm not an
internally,
authority, huh?
internally peptides,
Mhm.
because I have a friend who's sent me something recently. She was also on my podcast last year, but she's into this peptide thing, and
Mhm.
I've never heard of it really before.
Mhm.
And so I was reading a little bit about it this morning, and it's something that you drink, right? And then it goes inside your body and helps you produce
They
collagen.
some companies have injections, some have pills. So it targets the receptors of the skin, hair, and nails. And I was just reading
Okay.
up about that. And I know this lady who she sells, peptides, and so I started looking into all of them because I was really all I'd ever heard was about the GLP-1 and the shots and stuff. And I'm on no medications, and so I'm leery of of taking anything, but the more I learn about some of those, there are issues that women have, that your hormones, your inside, there's things that's going on in your body that's out of balance.
Yep.
And what peptides are designed to do is to balance those things back. So I'm not an authority on it, but if you can know somebody that sells them, or just talk to your doctor
Do
and get
you
on something.
do you take them?
I don't take anything. I'm scared a little bit because I thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because I'm not on anything. Would I
Right.
like to lose 10 pounds? Yes, but you know what? When I lose 10 pounds, this is going to sag. This is going to, I
Oh, right. So do peptides help you lose weight? I thought peptides helped you like just develop collagen. I didn't know is
yeah,
the GLP a peptide?
yes, GLP-1. There's peptides that have the GLP-1. There's peptides that have like the NAD, I've been watching a lot of videos. Listen, it will bog your brain, but you need to talk to someone that is more fluent about it. I There's so many direct sale companies now that are selling them, and they have direct lines to doctors, and you take a quiz and you can take them online and stuff. And I've almost pulled the trigger a couple of times. I would like to have a little more energy. I would like to feel a little bit. Sometimes I feel like in the middle of the afternoon, like, okay, I gotta go lay down, but I gotta remember I'm 71, I mean, like,
Yeah.
listen to your body. If you need to rest, go rest.
Yeah,
And
it's okay to
I
take
don't
a
want to,
nap.
yeah, and I don't want to push, I just don't want to push my body to the point where I'm doing things to it that I'm going to need something to fix that, something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
Well, I was not aware that a peptide had anything to do with GLP. I had no idea. So
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
talking to her about that. But I was just
yeah,
looking for something that's going to help with these breakouts. And
yeah.
and at our age, we all get these little hairs that start to come out of our chin, and then they cause lumps too. And so with the makeup and stuff, I know that if there's anybody out there that's interested in what Cynthia's using, you can follow her. Do you have a bunch of different makeup products, or do you focus on just one?
Well, I'm with Pharmacy, which is a network marketing company, and their products are made in Turkey, which is the most
Okay.
that has the best resource for natural ingredients in the world. So they're all naturally made there. And then I'm with a company called Curated, which I represent like 12 different companies under that one umbrella. So I sell and that I have supplements, red light therapy, sheet sets, I mean, bamboo sheets, makeup, skincare, sunglasses, hair products. There's like 12 different companies that I represent there. And so that's all under one company. Things are going more towards influencer companies, and Curated is one of the first influencer companies where they've put a lot of different companies under one umbrella. And Unique was the one
Okay.
that I was with many years ago, that I built a large business, and I had a team, and that was the company that I joined. And I've always loved their products, and I still use. To
Is
me,
that
they've made
did you
the
say Clinique with a
no
C?
unique,
Clinique?
unique, Y
Oh,
O
unique.
U YOUNIQUE, and it's more on the natural side as well. And it's always been a favorite company of mine. So I'm actually wearing all Unique today. That's one of my favorite makeups that I
It
use.
looks great. Do
Thank
they
you.
have oil free? Do they have it for oily skin?
Yes, they do. They have all kinds of different products that for different skin types and
For
things like
different
that.
skin types, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you talked about how these younger makeup artists and stuff, they don't really know the aging skin. And with you being a makeup artist for the aging skin, that was why I said, what about aging skin that breaks out like a teenager? I mean, this is ridiculous.
It's not your makeup, it's not your skincare, it's that what's happening underneath. It's your hormonal imbalance, and it is causing those pockets to form. And it's almost like, and especially if a person has oily skin, the oil glands can, in some cases, plug and get stopped up, and then when they don't drain, even then they want to come to the surface. So there's
right, right.
there's there's a lot of science behind that, but I would actually just check on the hormonal stuff. I
I
would
have
never,
had them checked,
but
and there
really.
isn't anything wrong with them. So that's what they tell me. They've done my T3 and T4 and everything is good to go. So they just
Mhm.
prescribe me tretinoin. And
That's not helping, is it?
well, I had just started it and then I burned my face with hot
Yeah,
boiling coffee accidentally. And so
yeah,
I can't use it right now
yeah.
because my face is in the process of healing. I mean, you can't see it because I've done such a wonderful job with my makeup. But no, but it is healing really, really well. It also happened on my wrist and on my chest. And
Right.
so that was hard. Please, I'm telling you guys, everybody out there, please do not force your French press carafe full of hot coffee. Do not try to force the pressing of it because it will explode. And keep your face away from it because that was pretty traumatic. So, well, that's
Yeah.
interesting to know. And another thing I wanted to talk about was you have said that God is first in your life and that wherever he guides you, you want to make a difference. And so, how do you envision your story continuing to grow? And how do you hope it's going to impact others based on putting God first? By putting him first, how is that going to impact others for you?
I pray about everything before I do anything. I pray. Sometimes I'm stubborn, and sometimes I there's things that maybe I know I need to do, but I'm like, God, I don't want to do that, or I don't. Why do are you leading me here? Are you leading me to talk to this person, or what's going on? And um, I have to learn the difference in knowing what's God led and what I'm trying to do. I don't want to be like just self-serving for me. I want it to be something that's going to glorify him and honor him.
Yeah.
So I'm really particular about, what I get involved with. I was asked to be a part of something that was going on in Nashville, and at first I said yes, because I thought it would be a great opportunity. But when I found out a little bit more about it and I prayed about it, I just felt God telling me, that's not something you need to do. And it was such a strong feeling that I contacted the lady and I said, I'm not coming to the meeting. I just don't feel like this is the right time for me. So sometimes you've got to figure out, I, my image to me, um, I don't want it to sound like, well, she thinks she's better than everybody else. That's not what I'm saying when I say image. My image and what I stand for is very important to me, that what I portray is wholesome and good, and that's when somebody watches what I'm doing, that they see that it's Christ-like, and that and I have fun just like the rest. I like a good joke, I like whatever, but you're not ever going to see bad language. You're not going to see just really something ugly. um, I I just To me, if God was to see it, or Jesus was to walk in and read it or see it, would he be happy with it? That's kind of how I lead. So I am continually just asking God to lead me and to show me what I need to do and where I need to go and what doors need to be opened up.
Open.
Um,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, one of my all-time dreams was to do some makeup for some important people at the Grand Ole Opry. And a friend of mine, Susan, that you've seen, her husband had won a talent competition, and he was going to get to perform at the Grand Ole Opry. And they needed a makeup artist for that. And
Oh,
she told them that I would do it, that I could come. I got to go backstage to the Grand Ole Opry in those rooms where all of these stars had already come before me and in these different rooms. And I do makeup on some of the ones that, now I didn't do anything on any big stars, but I did, the MC and some of the ones, backup singers and things like that. And and I thought, but God, he just keeps showing up to show me that whatever I can dream and whatever I can imagine that I want, that if I ask and that if I just live for him, he will provide. But it's in his
yes.
time and
It's in his time.
it's for his glory. And I don't ever want to, for what the things that I do, it be for my glory. I want to serve him. But
Yeah.
I don't push religion. I don't push things on my social media. You can get in a lot of controversy with politics and religion. But
Oh, yes.
I honestly believe that people do not have to know that you're a Christian per se, to know that you go to church or you do this and that. They go by how your life is lived. You
Yeah,
are the book.
they will know them by their fruit.
Yes,
That's
yes,
correct.
yes.
And I have to say on that is that when I first started out my podcast, it's still my podcast is still not just it's not just a Christian podcast. My podcast did not start out that way. My
Mhm.
podcast started out with, and it's still showcasing women, but it was
Uh-huh.
more on the just showcasing um what women can do in their own power.
Yes.
And so it started out that way, not intentionally, but just according to the guests at the time. As it progressed, it became more geared towards Christianity and Christian authors. And it just propelled from that going forth. And I knew that it was God because it's not like this was a huge desire for me to do, but what was a desire was to have other women's voices heard so that they're not alone. Because too many people our age sit home and suffer, and they just want somebody to hear them out. They just want to be heard and seen. And so that was my goal. But as it progressed, God blessed me with these women that are Christians and Christian authors. And
Uh-huh.
as yourself, you are a Christian makeup artist, but you don't promote, like you said on Instagram. You're just talking about the makeup, and you're talking about positivity and
Yeah.
about encouraging people. And like we
Mhm.
said, you don't have to say, hey, I'm a Christian. Here's a sign, I am a
No.
Christian. You know them by their fruit. Okay.
Yes.
And other Christians know other Christians by their fruit. So and they can see it in you. And
Yes.
you have a standard, and you stand for what's right and what's positive and what's good. And so God kind of just led me to that. But I have to say that I've had people cancel on me once they found out that I had Christians on my podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I have also lost some really close friends
Hmm.
that I developed over the years once they found out that I had a Christian on my podcast.
Hmm.
And so that just tells me that they weren't really a true friend. So
They weren't your
that's
people.
okay.
Yeah, they weren't your people. Listen, I have lost friends. I've had family and different ones that have blocked me, and said that I'm too much, and that they didn't see what I was really trying to do. All they saw was me dancing, and they thought it was all about me, but it wasn't that. They just
That's
don't
not your
even
intention. Yeah.
know. And I could screenshot you message after message after message after message of women that say thank you. Thank you for dancing. I had a lady message me not too long ago, and she said, I just have to tell you something. She said, I never thought dancing and just getting up in the morning, and moving and everything would set the mood for my day. And she said, because of you, I get up every morning, I put a good song on, and I just dance around my kitchen. She
Yep.
said, my life is changing because of that. It's almost like it, and I think it creates those endorphins in the brain that gives you that happiness and that contentment, and it just if you've got a problem that's going on, it doesn't seem near as large, but it's just moving and just celebrating life. I mean, none of us are getting out alive. I mean,
No.
I'm in my fourth quarter. If I make it to 80, I'm in overtime. Okay. Because the life expectancy of a woman is what, 76?
Oh,
I'm in the fourth quarter. 80 and above to me is overtime because
wow.
we're not expected to live. I mean, there are people who do, and I want to be that one in overtime, but you know, I have less time ahead of me than I had behind me. And that's what I
Yeah.
tell people all the time. Why are you not living it? Why are you not living
Right.
life? We're going to die
Right.
anyway. And I'll tell you this, if I die tomorrow, a year or two later, there's nobody's going to even think about me. I mean, my
No.
family, my kids, I'm just talking about in general. I will not even be a thought because I'm not in their feed. I'm not in their minds. They're going to forget about me. We're all going to be forgotten, because I tend to I think all the neighbors that I grew up with that have passed on, how many times do I think about them? How many times do I think
Right.
about going and sitting on their porch or some of the things they said? It's a faint memory because it's so long ago, and you forget
Yeah.
about people. So live in the moment and
Live in the
enjoy
moment.
what time you have left because none of us know how long that we're going to have. So that's just kind of what drives me. I'm like, I laugh all the time with people say, "Where are you going now?" Because I'm like, if somebody asks me to go somewhere, if I can go, I'm going to go. And I'm like, well, I'm going here, and like, didn't you just get back from such and such? Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But
And I know,
one,
and I saw your last well, we had to reschedule the podcast because you
yeah,
said you had an opportunity to go with the girls. And I saw you talking about the beach sand. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, I have to tell you, I live 10 minutes from the beach. I never go to the beach, not because I don't think it's beautiful, not because I don't love the beach. It's because of the sand. And so when you were talking about the sand being sticky and all of that, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I got such cringe because I could still feel it. Ever since I was a little child, just a tactile, it's just something tactile. I just can't stand sand. Now I will go, we have the fluffy white as you were over on the East Coast with
we're at
Cher,
Hilton Head. Yeah.
but over here on the Gulf, it's all puffy white marshmallow
Uh-huh.
sand. And
Yeah.
so it's really pretty and it's very fluffy and it's very nice, but I still, can't stand the grip. But what I was getting to is that we did reschedule and I totally understood because you were like, "Hey, I have this opportunity and I've got to take it." And that
Hmm.
is a perfect example of living right now, live in the right now. And even biblically it says to don't think about yesterday, and don't even think about tomorrow, just live today. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about tomorrow. don't
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
look in the past. And so I totally understood, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my gosh, I wish that I had a group of friends like that, that I could just take off and just go for a ride and just cut up and just have a good time. So what a blessing it is that you have that. So
Yeah.
take every opportunity, whoever's listening out there, if you
Yes.
have the opportunity, if you're depressed and you have the opportunity, if a friend asks you, hey, let's go get a bite to eat. Hey, let's go, go get a cup of coffee. Do it. I don't care
Yeah.
what you feel like. I don't care if you feel, oh, I can't go out looking like this, because that's what I use as the excuse. I don't want to go out because
Mhm.
I don't want to put makeup on,
Yeah.
or I don't want to go out because I don't feel like talking or whatever. But once I do accept that invitation, it makes a world of difference. It just makes me feel so much better, it makes me feel so happy. And so that's one step that you can take from being stuck.
Yes.
Stop getting in that routine where you're stuck in the house, and just say, yes, I will go for that cup of coffee, or I will go to that Airbnb with,
And don't, yeah, and
yeah.
don't worry about if you got makeup on or not. One thing I've learned after 60, I go out without makeup on. I don't really care if I'm like, I don't feel like putting it on. I don't do it. When we're out on, you might see us going out to dinner, we might put a little makeup on, but when we travel, they none of us girls got makeup on. We just when we go in some of those places and get snacks and stuff, and I said they would probably think that we look like a bunch of homeless people, because we got our ball caps on and we're just like head down and But
Well, for me, it's the acne. It's
yeah,
it's not wanting to look like I have the measles.
yeah,
So it's like, you have to hide the makeup. If
I
I if
get
I
it.
didn't have that problem
Yeah,
right now for some reason at my age, I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care.
yeah,
I get enough
right.
sun. I'm outside gardening every day for an
Uh-huh.
hour and a half. I get enough sun. And but no, it's that acne. So hopefully we're
Well,
going to get
maybe
to the point of it.
I'll do some research for you and let's see if we can't find something that maybe will
Thank
help.
you.
I
And I
know
need a
I'll
really
talk to
good
my girl
makeup.
that I was talking to about the stuff for skin, and we'll see if there's something out there. I don't
I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, once this burn heals, I am going to try to get back to the tretinoin. It's like a 0.5 or point
uh,
zero zero 0.005, whatever. Doctor prescribed it, but
yeah.
but anyway, my listeners and my followers know that I usually will do a book giveaway if I have an author on the show. And but you mentioned, like we had said before earlier, that you'd love to donate a makeup bundle of your favorite products. So tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about that and why those items matter to you.
Okay, I haven't filled everything up with everything, but you're going to get some of my favorite skincare items. You're going to get some of my favorite lippies, my lip products, and you're going to get one of my favorite mascaras. So
Nice.
I'm gonna fill it up, and it's all. You're also going to get. I I'm a shopper, and I love bling, and I love shopping for things that are just sparkly and fun. And so you're going to get some jewelry and among other things, and then you're just going to get a good little variety of some of my favorite things with some added surprises of a little bling because Senior America is all about the bling. When you go to a Senior America event, you will think you walked into a rhinestone factory. I mean, because everybody blings out, and it's so fun. And we just the first time I went, I'm like, whoa, I'm way underdressed, but now during my I'm a thrifter. I love thrifting, and
Me too.
so when
Me
I'm out
too.
and about and I find something that is blingy, and I'm like, I'll wear that at some point because I'm one of those people. I hate to pay full price for everything, but I will if it's a product that like makeup, skincare things that I really need. But I'm talking about all the other accessories and stuff, it needs to be on sale. So, but
Yes.
yeah, this will be chock full of some fun things. And whoever gets it, I would love whoever gets it. I would love for you to get a picture of it, send it to me, post it on Instagram, tag me, whatever, and let me know what you think about it. And Kim can tell me where to ship it, and I'll ship it out and everything when the time comes. And I can't wait.
That is so, so exciting. And for those of you who are only listening through audio, Cynthia has this case. It's red and it's shaped like lips. And
Mhm.
like she said, she's filled it all up. It's so exciting. And so for the makeup bundle giveaway, you need to be the first one to like, share, and comment on this particular episode and tell us what encouraged you the most today that you heard. And then email me your address, and my email is below in the description as well. And I will forward it to Cynthia so that she can send you the bundle. And like she said, take a picture of it, please, post it. Maybe give her your Instagram handle or your Facebook
Mhm.
handle or even your TicToc handle, and then you
Mhm.
can tag her. But I will give her all the information if you send it to me, if you send me your physical address, and also make sure that you like, share, and comment, and even subscribe to
Mhm.
my podcast, because the more that we get this podcast out there, the more women that we help, and the more women I can showcase their stories and can get other people encouraged. And so, you can, like I said, you can find my email below in the description of the episode. And Cynthia, in your work with women, what patterns do you see repeating that you'd love to help transform? Let's just pick one. What's one pattern that you see out of all the women that you help, whether it's with the makeup or um other products maybe? What's one thing that you see that keeps repeating over and over again that you would like to help to transform?
Lack of confidence, lack of confidence, 100%. A lot of the women that I have in my chair, even when they are fixing to compete at a national level or a state level for a pageant, um, they let a little bit of the non-confidence, or it's like they they push themselves back because they don't feel like they're really worthy of what they're even going for. And
Yes.
confidence to me, um, it's a verb. It's something that you have to work on and you have to continually do. It's a do thing. It's something that you don't just wake up with it one day. I had none. When I got my divorce, my confidence was down the tank.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
it took a while to build my confidence up. But what I feel like now is like confidence is something that in that back of your mind that is it's like giving yourself permission to say, yes, I can do this. Yes.
Yes.
And if you can ever get past of worrying about what somebody else thinks about you, or that you can just be uplifted, validated, and just so compassionate about what it is that you're doing, and not be looking back over your shoulder thinking, well, what would they think about it? A
Right.
lot of us women, one of the things that happens with women so much, you would think that we would be concerned about what another man thinks about us or whatever, but women are more concerned about what other women think about them than
Yes.
anything. We dress for
Yes.
other women. We do our hair. When we go somewhere, and if you've got a new hair, jewelry, you want validation from them. You want them to compliment it. And then if they don't, or if they don't say anything, in our brain we think, well, they didn't like what I had on. And
Yeah.
we sabotage ourselves because instead of wearing and doing and performing the way we want to do, we're over here second guessing what Susie Q over here would think about what we're doing. So that's one of the things that I try so hard. I talk about confidence a lot. Confidence to me, for a woman, is the biggest hurdle that they
Yes.
have a hard time getting
Yes.
over. And I speak that from experience. I tell you this because it was me. It was
Yes.
I had none. So I want to keep pushing confidence. I want women to know that whatever they set out to do, they are capable and they can do it, and they can overcome just being a little bit timid and shy about things, and don't put things off. Just
Right.
embrace life. And if there's something that you have had on your mind that you've been wanting to do. I watched an Instagram the other day, and there was a lady that was 97 years old, and she said,
Mm.
I did not know what I wanted to do with myself. She said, what do you do every day when you don't get out much, and you're starting to really see the thing of aging? And she loved to paint. And so she got out, she got some paints, and she started painting um, just things that she would see, and and she would give them away and share them, because that was her outlet, and so our bodies, our minds are meant to stay busy. And I always say, if you don't move it, you lose it. So we got to keep
That's
going
right.
and keep moving. And that's the same with your brain. If you're not using your brain regularly, if you're not pushing yourself, if you're not learning something new, if you're not trying to um, enhance things, I mean, you're never going to remember those passwords, right?
Right, 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 exactly. And that's so good because I've had a confidence coach on my
Oh, wow.
podcast before. So that
Uh-huh.
might be something else you might look into, is possibly becoming a confidence coach, because
Yeah.
that is so important. And it takes examples like yourself. It
Mhm.
takes examples to help. I was part of another community, like I had said earlier, and that community, very popular community, lots and lots of people on it. And they have challenge meetings and challenge groups, and
Mhm.
it helps for women to see other women even doing a video of themselves.
Yeah.
The challenge will be, okay, you need to record something about yourself that's positive that nobody ever knew. And
Mhm.
it takes a lot of guts for some people. I know for me back then at the time, I did not want to be on video.
Yeah.
This podcast thing, this is a miracle. I didn't want to be on video. I didn't want anybody to see me. And so when I did that challenge, that got me out of my shell. And
Mhm.
now look.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
just takes one step, one example, one challenge. I mean,
Mhm.
challenges can be, we can have fun challenges. We can challenge each other,
Right.
and then to have an example like yourself, I think that it's wonderful. And so, yeah, confidence is huge. And right now, there are listeners out there who are in the middle of their own different, and they're scared and they're unsure, and they're maybe standing at the edge of a big change, such as you were years ago. What encouragement could you leave with them today about whatever it is that they're standing on the edge of? Gee, it could be anything, but
Mhm.
it would be a major change.
Yeah.
What would your encouragement be for them?
Well, first of all, pray about it, and to me, that's where you start. But don't be afraid of change. We are. I use this example a lot because I do makeup on people, and it is really hard for senior women to break up with their old habits with makeup, skincare. They want to do the same things they did back in their 20s, and it ain't working anymore.
Mm,
But it's the same thing with life. We get comfortable, and when all of a sudden, like with me, the major change was happening, and I didn't know how to handle it because it was out of my normal. But I will tell you that time takes care of a lot of the heartache. If you're going to go through heartache and change or whatever, but really think about life on the other side of what's going on. Because if I had known then what I know now and who I was supposed to turn into and how I was supposed to be, I would have probably run to it.
Yeah.
I would have embraced it, but I didn't. You don't know what you don't know. And
No.
it's been a learning process. So, because I got a divorce in 2012, so it's been a learning process and a growing process.
Yeah.
But don't
Yeah.
be afraid to grow through change. And sometimes God is closing doors. He's removing people. I call it taking the trash out sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes we got to take the trash out and we're not brave
That's
enough to take the trash out. We are not, we are not capable. So sometimes God has a way of taking the trash out for you. But
that's
if you
right.
keep going back out and getting that trash and bringing it back in, then you're never going to see what it could be like over there with a clean slate and starting something
That's
new.
right.
So
That's right.
I think everybody's situation is different, and each one of you that are listening, whatever you're going through, just know that you can do anything that you set your mind to, and that you're not alone in most anything. And sometimes you just have to seek out the help and just find someone to talk to and listen to what you're going through. But ultimately, don't live in the fear of it. Embrace it and know that there's something better probably out there for you, and you just got to go out there. And it takes a lot of bad before we get to
Gusto
the
takes
good
a lot of
sometimes.
gusto. Yeah,
It does.
you gotta just take that step. I mean, I say when you're at the end of your rope, when you're sick and tired of the same story and you know you
Hmm.
want, listen, if you desire something more, if
Right.
you are sick and tired of the way that it is, then do something about it. You can't, people can't make you do it. You are the only one that can do it. I used
Hmm.
to say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. It's the same, and that's in regards to us trying to change somebody else.
Right. Right.
Well, we somebody else can't change us. I mean, yes, we can watch motivational speakers, we can be involved in, on confidence coaching, we can and that's good motivation. That is really excellent to
Hmm.
be motivated. But you can keep being motivated and motivated and motivated, but until you take that step on your own accord,
Got to put legs
that's
on it.
right.
You know.
You got to just do it. And like when I was challenged to get in front of a camera and I said,
Hmm.
"Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm just going to do it," because everybody else was coming out of their comfort zone and they were doing it. And so I thought, "Okay, I'm not going to be judged, you know." But even
Hmm.
if you are, because when we're on social media, there's always on in public, there's always going to be negative voices. Don't pay
Oh,
attention to them. Skip over those comments. Don't even give it a second thought and just keep going and just take that step. And I just thank you so much, Cynthia, for being my guest today. I mean, you're an inspiration to me.
oh,
And I'm so
thank
glad
you.
that I found you through Sandy and through her sister Cheryl. It's
Yeah.
been such a blessing for me to follow you and to watch everything that you're doing. I love it. And I know that you've shared your heart today of your journey. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with us as well. Your story is a reminder that reinvention isn't just possible, it's powerful. And
Mhm.
so, to everybody listening today, make sure that you follow Cynthia on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You're on there too, right? On YouTube and even
I do have
TikTok.
a YouTube. I've not been real active on YouTube. Now, Susan England and I have a podcast as well.
Oh,
It's called
okay.
It's called Clutch and Pearls. I'll send you that link. Clutch, Clutch, and Pearls.
Thank you once again, Cynthia, for everything. I so appreciate you. I'm looking forward to whoever the winner is going to be. Again, don't forget to be the first one to like, share, comment below in what you liked the most. What encouraged you the most about this podcast today? And then subscribe because it will help others to be more encouraged and to get out there and to be seen and heard. And like I always tell my listeners and followers every time I have an episode, until next time, keep doing different. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim.
So thank